Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Eric, for this opportunity. Uh, this is the first time that I'm narrating a story to so many people on a public platform, and I hope I shall do a good job. This story is about all of us. This story is about the dreams we pursue, the ambitions we have, and some things we desire. But we almost never figure out whether these things are the things we really want, or the other things. There's a momentary thought which makes or develops a craving for this thing. So these ambitions are some things which we have to walk through them to understand whether we really want them. And as a doctor, I'm working currently at Tata Memorial Cancer Hospital, which is one of the largest government funded cancer hospitals in India. I often walk through my ambitions when I look around my patients. And then I realized whether the ambitions which I really have are the ones which are indeed inside me, or it's just a craving that I have when I look at the world around me. Well, hope my story solves this dilemma which I often face and you often face when you are dealing with your ambitions. So I start the story in the clinic of Dr. Rakesh, who is a neurosurgeon. Bharatji, where is the next patient? Please send him in. I have no time. The OPD list is too long for today. Ji, Dr. Saab. Dr. Rakesh, the next patient is a child. He's a small child. His name is Suraj Shinde. He's just playing outside and he has come with his father. There's a social worker attending him. So I just call the patient right away. Suraj, come fast. The doctor is waiting for us. Dr. Saab, namaste. Yes. What happened, Suraj? How are you? What makes you come to a doctor's clinic? You're such a lovely child. Dr. Saab, something happened last 15 days for which we had to come to you. Well, we are from a village, a far off village in a district in Maharashtra. And one day, while Suraj was playing with his friends, suddenly he fell unconscious. There was froth coming out of his mouth, and we didn't understand what was going on. So we took him to a nearby hospital. It was just a taluka place, and so there was no access to great treatment. But the doctor there told us, get a scan done. So we just carried him in our bullock cart and went to the nearby district hospital. Okay, wait, I'm getting a phone call. Ha, yes. Good evening, Mr. Khanna. Yes, your checks are ready. Yes, do send your person across to collect the checks, and the amount will be disbursed today itself. So keep the car ready. Yeah, thank you. Suraj Papa, continue. So we went to the taluka place and then to the district place, and we got the scan done. Here are the films. You can have a look. Okay. Suraj, come here. Are you feeling okay now? How are you? And what do you like to play? I like to play with marbles. Okay. And who all are your friends? My friends are Chotu, Munna, and Suresh. Okay. And Suraj, can you do one thing? Let's play a game. Just turn your eyes round and round and round. Okay. Now just turn them to your left. Now to your right. Perfect. Suraj, tell me, do you like ice creams? Yes, I like ice creams, but Papa never gives me the ice cream. Okay, Bharatji, just take Suraj out to our play area. Let him have some ice cream. Suraj walks away to the play area with Bharatji. So, Papa, do you know what really Suraj is suffering from? Dr. Saab, we are from a native place. We are from a village. We don't understand this high end medical stuff. Please explain to us. and please tell us whether Suraj will be all right or not. Wait, wait. Mr. Khanna, okay, okay. Your person is coming in an hour? Well, that's fine. The checks are in my drawer and you can collect them anytime. Okay. I hope the car is ready. I want the same color and with fully loaded versions. Okay? Fine. Great. Amazing. Bye. Huh. So, after looking at the scan, I realized that there is a small coin shaped tumor in Suraj's brain. And if I have to tell you, I'll have to do a surgery on him. अरे डॉक्टर साहब ऑपरेशन सर्जरी will my Suraj come out alive from this? That's what I have to tell you. It is located at a place where Suraj is likely to lose his vision when I attempt to take the tumor out. And there is a good chance that he won't see in future. No, no, Dr. Saab, don't do this surgery. I want my son to see all the things that are there around us. Suraj's papa, try to understand one thing. If you don't do a surgery, the tumor will grow and ultimately it will be fatal for Suraj. So please decide what you want to do. And let me tell you, if we have to operate on Suraj, you will have to get admitted today and deposit around 4 to 5 lakhs. 4 to 5 lakhs? Admit him today? Okay, okay. Suddenly, Suraj's father was out of the clinic and he was seen nowhere. Well, Dr. Rakesh continued with his stream of patients, those were lined up outside the outpatient department, one patient after the other. He kept on seeing the patients. And the next patient he saw, he used to just forget about the earlier one which he met. This went on and on till 12 o'clock. Finally, Rakesh came out of his OPD. And while he was out, he asked Bharatji, Bharatji, where is that boy, that small boy who had come? I can't see him here. Has his father confirmed? Arey, Doctor Saab, that father suddenly disappeared. He just told me I'll come back soon. But I haven't seen him anywhere, nor have I seen the child. Oh God, these villagers, they don't have any manners or etiquettes. Wait, hello? Yes, Mr. Khanna, your person has reached. Oh, I can't find him here. Where is he? Okay, just ask him to come inside my clinic. Okay, thank you. Bharatji, let's check at the OT list for tomorrow. Let's check the patients on whom we are going to operate and let me draw a plan of my surgeries for tomorrow. So this went on till 2 p.m. in the afternoon, but there was no sign of Suraj or his father. Finally, Bharatji called Suraj's father. अरे, where are you? आप कहाँ हो? Do you want your son to be all right? Do you want to get him operated? Please come back. Bharatji, what happened? Where is the child? Hey, Dr. Saab, his father is telling me I'll come there, I'll come there. He's been saying this for the last 15 minutes to 1 hour, but I can't see the father anywhere. Well, Bharatji, don't worry. We have enough patients for tomorrow. And Suraj then went for his lunch. Rakesh then went for his lunch. Rakesh soon finished his lunch and went to his chamber. He just relaxed and closed his eyes. He looked at the wall, which was full of orations, certificates, plaques, merit lists, and his mind just rushed through his journey, which started way back 20 years back in a village when he was a small child. He dreamt of becoming a doctor, and finally, after 20 years, after a hard struggle, with lots of help from lots of people, he had succeeded in becoming an eminent neurosurgeon. Suddenly, his eyes opened, and there he was, and it was 5 o'clock in the evening. He went outside. Bharatji was waiting for him. Bharatji, has that boy got admitted? Sarji, wait. Let me find out. At that moment, Rakesh's wife, Rashmi, had called Rakesh. Rakesh, is the car getting delivered today? Okay, okay, I'll come to your hospital. From there, we'll go to the showroom. Well, okay, I'll be there. I'll be there by 6 o'clock. Great. Rakesh hung up. At that moment, Suraj was in front of his eyes with his dad. He had two balloons in his hand. There was a nice orange cap on his head. He had bright yellow shoes and a big smile on his face. Rakesh was furious. He shouted at his father, "Where were you? Do you think it's a simple thing to operate on your child? We have to plan the surgery, we have to do certain tests, and there you go away without informing us? Is this the way to behave? I am a great surgeon. You have to respect what I tell. This is not done at all. Sir ji, मुझे माफ कर दो. I am sorry. But you know what? After tomorrow, my child won't see what's there in this world. He won't see the birds. He won't see the clouds. He won't see the waves of the ocean. He won't see the potholes in the road. He won't see speed breakers. He won't see the colors changing in a traffic signal. He has always dreamt of looking what's there in a city, in a metro city. So I just took him out. I traveled in a bus, in a metro rail, in a monorail, in a yellow and black taxi, and I gave him all the experiences that he won't have after tomorrow. There is a good possibility that my child won't see the sun's rays or the dew drops on the leaves or just the green leaves and the blossoming flowers. I had to give him all the experiences in the last 2 to 3 hours, and I did that. Now, the story suddenly shifts to Rakesh's office. And there we see Rashmi entering Rakesh's office, which is empty. Are Bharatji, where is Dr. Rakesh? We have to leave at 6. Are madam, sir is not seen anywhere. I think he must be in the ward. Okay, okay. Bharatji goes away. Rashmi just sits there. A few moments later, Bharatji is back. Are madam, Dr. Rakesh is playing with a child in the ward. And he is saying, call Rashmi here. I won't be coming there. Bharatji, we have to leave. Please call him back. And then Rashmi started walking towards the ward. And while she was walking, she suddenly stopped in between. What made her stop? You know, she bent down. A trash bin was lying beside her. And inside that bin were two torn checks worth 4 lakhs. Thank you very much. This is the end of my story.
I really liked your story. I think that this real story, you might want to start with the dialogue at the very beginning, not all that preamble, but just where the doctor's talking. And you see that right there, because that's an action point. We're brought into the characters. You're seeing the two characters. The other stuff is just information, and I don't know that it adds to the story. The your the thing you might want to think about is you don't have to belabor a point for people to get it. I really got the type of person he was when in the middle of a conversation he's picking up the phone and he's talking about the car. You don't have to do that 3 or 4 times because it actually it doesn't add, and you've made your point with it. I think the real heart of the story is what the father did with his son, and if you can get to that sooner with and then I'm not sure, I'm trying to understand because I was a little confused with who was it that was grew up poor and had all these people help them. Was it the doctor or was it the doctor's assistant?
Pardon me, I didn't get your question.
Okay, so there was a point at which you were talking about how a lot of people helped him along the way to become this neurosurgeon.
Right.
That was the doctor that you were talking about, not the
Yeah.
guy who he's been, get bringing me in these people. Because there was somebody who helped the doctor throughout the day,
Yeah. So
and he seemed to be the one who was having the moral dilemma, not the doctor. But in the end, was it the doctor that had the moral dilemma and shifted? Because that was a little confusing for me.
so the doctor is the one who is having a moral dilemma. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he came up with a lot of help along the way, right?
Right.
Okay. So those are the things that highlighting those points and keeping them very clear. You know what I mean? Like, so when he went back to his office and he was sitting in this big office with all these things, what does he recall? He recalls that I was poor. He recalls that people helped me along the way. He's not looking at his stuff and saying, see, that's me. He's seeing who he really is. Okay. When the father comes back, if you can make it more of that, he is telling him off, but you can make it more so that it's a quick exchange and that the father is saying, this is what I did. Because that to me was the heart of the story right there. You told me my son might not see again, and this is what I did. So if the parts before that you can make them more streamlined, not meander so much, because they don't add, they dissipate the real heart. But I really do like the characters you did, and maybe even imagine the little boy a bit more. Try to think of a little boy and just have him be that little boy, so that when he's talking, you're talking from that little boy, because that really makes us drawn into a story. But it's a great story. It's got a great truth to it, something that we can all relate to. How much of our life is lost in getting cars rather than seeing a bird fly, you know? And I think it tightened up. It will be a tremendous story.
Ameya, excuse me, I didn't quite understand what happened at the end. There were two torn up checks.
Yes.
Who had written those checks?
Dr. Rakesh had written those checks for the car.
Ah,
So he was going to use it to fund that boy's surgery.
he was the money for the boy's surgery was going to pay for the car.
That was an implied meaning of from the
So
torn checks.
so was the surgery going to go ahead?
Yes, indeed.
But the doctor was not going to charge the money for it? Is
No.
that the idea?
Yes.
He was going to do it at no cost.
He was demanding money right at the start when he told the father that he was supposed to pay the money and then get admitted. When he heard from the father, I had kept that. I didn't narrate that part because that was an implied meaning that Rakesh went back, thrown the checks, and went to play with the boy. So that was kind of a liberty which I took as a writer to keep it away from the listeners.
Okay.
Ameya, I just wanted to say that I think I really enjoyed your story because it was extremely relatable culturally. I think this is, I mean, it's a very familiar sort of story. That's the way that I felt as I was listening to it. The characters also felt, really familiar. It felt, and especially the aspirational sort of value that you attach to the experience in itself. I think it was really, it was very visceral for me as a listener. I just had one question. I think this is, so the checks in the starting, this is just, it doesn't make a difference to the story, but it's just for my clarity, otherwise it would bother me. But the checks in the starting, the 4 lakh checks, they were written to buy a car from a showroom, right? Which then you later tied up in the end and said, and then you said that the checks were torn.
Yeah.
So they weren't the checks that that the villager had given to Rakesh. It was Rakesh's checks.
Yeah.
That he was going to buy a car with.
So the car was going to collect it from Rakesh.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, that makes sense then. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Just to add to what Sahil said, there is a this similar kind of story was once published in a Marathi magazine way back. I mean, when I was in my school days, and it was written by a Marathi author named Madhavi Kure. A very similar story, which was also made into a feature film, Shwas, which ultimately made it to the Oscars as the official nomination from India. So I drew inspiration from that short story which I had once read as a child, and then I added some of my thoughts to it, which I gathered from my personal experience as a doctor.
Ari, did you
Eric?
want to go ahead, Ari? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So, Ameya, it was a very good story. You narrated very well. In fact, the end was very touchy one, and you portrayed it also very good. In fact, normally doctors do not get emotionally connected with the patients. I've been told, because when they do surgery, when they are emotionally connected, they really, get nervous. That's why I have been again also told that normally doctors don't operate on their own kith and kins. That's because they'll be emotionally attached. They may not do the surgery well. So that might be the reason why doctor was not, this surgery doctor was not giving the emotional connect to the child. He treated it as a subject only. But as a father, really that was a good move. As a father, why he was away, and even I was worried. I was thinking that he was irresponsible. His father was, Rakesh was irresponsible. I think Rakesh was doctor. I don't know the father's name, I forgot. But when the doctor searched for his father, he was not there. So even I was thinking he must have been one of the irresponsible fathers. But when he came back and when doctor asked him, where were you? When he narrated, I was really stunned. Because as a father, he sees the son as his life is almost over, his visionary life, or the vision is almost. So he acted as a father well. Also, in my opinion, the doctor acted also well. Probably he need not have taken the child to play, cancel the probably surgery, because again, when he plays and gets emotionally connected to the child, maybe he will operate it free of cost. That was very good. The two tone checks in the dustbin, very poetically you ended the story. But the little bit uncomfortable part was that when the doctor becomes emotionally connected to the child by playing, by realizing his mistake, next day when he operates, probably he will feel sorry. Probably he might do some mistake. I think so. I may be wrong, but that's what I have been told in my experience, that doctors normally don't get emotionally connected to the subjects. So, but overall, it was a very great presentation, and I really loved the story. Thank you, Ameya, for a good story. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Dr. Eric. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Eric. Also,
Yes,
my
yes.
Women's Day wishes to all the women storytellers here, please. It's a wonderful story on a Women's Day. I'm looking forward for the last one you had listed. The last one really drew my attention, so I made it a point to attend today's session.